Hi there, welcome to Terraland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Pisces energy, and like usual, we're going to do two rows. The top row is going to be high vibe Pisces energy, and the bottom row is going to be a more worldly or shadowy Pisces energy. Sometimes some people are battling within themselves. High vibe Pisces is when we kind of have hope and faith and belief in our dreams, and we want to move forward in life differently. We want to step out of our comfort zone, free ourselves from some of the things that we feel have had a stranglehold on us or manipulated us. But it can be hard because then we have to walk away from certain things or people or ways of living our life. And so some people could be struggling within themselves. But at any given moment in time, there's going to be some people in their Pisces energy that are ready to move forward. They just can't keep living life the way they've lived it. They've healed, they've grown, they've matured, come into some type of insight and understanding that they either have no interest or choose not to live their life like that anymore. And when some people are moving forward in life, there's always going to be some people who aren't ready to move forward in life yet. We all kind of heal and grow and mature at different times, and we're ready to face our fears and insecurities at different times. And some people don't intend to ever heal or grow or mature themselves. Shadowy worldly energy can be about people who are kind of caught up in the illusion of the world. It's their ego or their image or status or something that's more important to them than love. Some people don't want to do love because you can get hurt doing love. So we all tap into Pisces energy. If you're someone who harnesses high vibe Pisces energy, you'd probably want to be in a relationship with someone who harnesses high vibe Pisces energy. So listen to your intuition about where you're at in the story, and listen to your intuition where some other people might be. The reason for the top row's reading is the sudden wealth. It's also why the reading came out. And then I'll pick them up and show you. We have gift of money, imprisonment, murky thoughts, and great fortune. So we could have been in relationships with people who are more invested in something they thought would be more abundant. If they're still loving people, sometimes, you could have even made an offer to someone who you think is abundant. Let's go with that one for right now. So you could have made an offer to someone who you think is stable, grounded, insightful. Could have been a job. 10 Pentacles can kind of mean all those things. For some of you, it could mean a Virgo. Whatever we could have invested in with the imprisonment card, high vibe people wanted a relationship to move forward. We can invest in things that initially seem abundant, but we want it to grow over time and mature over time, right? And become like more stable, more grounded, more abundant, more loving, more nurturing over time. And we could have gotten in relationships with some people that aren't sure, they could be okay, kind of like hiring people for a job or getting in relationships with people, but they could have a problem with relationships growing and maturing, because in order for the relationship to grow and mature, both people have to grow and mature. Both people have to invest in putting in work and effort to work through their own fears and confusing thoughts. I guess I'd look at the thoughts card as kind of a King of Swords energy. We can all get in relationships. We can all take jobs. We can all get in friendships. And some people, they're okay with continuing to just live their life like that. It's like, I'm good. Let's keep doing life like this. And they could turn their back on a more deep, meaningful relationship. And then when people get in relationships with people who are like that, they can get up in their head wondering, is this relationship going to grow? Are they going to deal with whatever it is that kind of has them up in a mental prison? Are they willing to put in the work and effort to grow and mature this? And sometimes some of those people don't, and they decide to go invest in something else. At which point, we're in a mental prison. We got these murky thoughts. Because in our own King of Swords energy, we wanted, the King of Swords is represented by Libra energy, which is represented by the scales of justice. We wanted there to get the justice we deserved. We wanted things to be just and fair and balanced. And if we put in work and effort to work through our fears and insecurities, and we could all have our ideas of what we think is just and fair in a relationship. And if we were putting in work and effort to kind of grow and heal and mature ourselves, we wanted other people to do that same work and effort within them. And if any of you have had a job where you had a supervisor or a coworker who's kind of, initially you get the job and it seems good, but then, they could seem kind of bossy or controlling or fearful or insecure or whatever. And it's like, oh my gosh, is this job ever going to be what I thought it was going to be? Are they ever going to do this work to self-reflect about why they act like that so that we can get to this final end destination? And sometimes you realize some people aren't. It's like, nope, I'm good with this. If you want to work here or be in a relationship or friendship with me, it kind of has to stay right here. And they could harness like shadowy King of Swords energy that, this is what I think is just and fair. We should keep doing this. And it's like, well, what about, where people have the opportunity to grow and mature themselves and, take on more responsibility. And it's like, well, no, because then, I just think this is just and fair and we should do it like this. And it's like, well, why? It's like, well, I don't know why. And I don't care to know why. In Pisces energy, it's all about what we imagine and what we dream of as being the ideal work situation, the ideal friendship, the ideal romantic relationship or family dynamic. And some people are just okay with this, but anything can get stagnant over time, even up in high vibe energy, where people could be loving people and nurturing people, but they're just maybe not willing to grow and mature themselves and take it to the next level. And that's when other people that are in relationship with them have a problem staying in a relationship with them, because life-giving energy is about continuing to grow and mature yourself and face your fears and insecurities that can get you up in your head and kind of cloud your judgment and maybe tend to make you a little more bossy and controlling or something. And some people are in these kind of mismatched relationships right now. And some of them are kind of wondering, do I want to stay in this? Or is this ever going to become what I thought it could be? If you're going to work with other people, everybody has to work together cooperatively. And sometimes there's some people in the relationship that, or the workplace, that are like, oh, no, 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 no. I have too many fears and insecurities to deal with. And another person could be kind of bossy and controlling. And another person can't make up their mind about, well, I don't know. What should I do? What shouldn't I do? They say this, they say that. And it's just like, oh my gosh, you know what? Well, you all decide how you're going to do your life. I've already been in situations that had me feeling imprisoned and tried to confuse me about the truth, and I've maybe dealt with bossy, controlling people. And I listen to my intuition, and my intuition tells me that people are being bossy or controlling, or people can't make a decision, or some people are up in their head about doing love or believing in love or trusting in love, because there's people in the world who are in shadowy energy, but they want to be in relationships with people who harness high vibe energy because they're loving and nurturing and supportive and encouraging. And they like to be in relationships with people like that, but they're not really in that energy. So you can get in that friendship, that workplace, that relationship. And that's kind of over time, you kind of see that people weren't really who they said they were, because Pisces energy is also about creating an illusion. And it doesn't mean you're dealing with a Pisces, but everybody harnesses Pisces energy. And some people this is how they live their life. They just create an illusion to get people to get in a relationship with them. And then they think it'll just stay right here and it'll be fine. But they get in relationships with people who are motivated and inspired by their dreams, to believe in themselves, to want to become all they can be, to be in deep, meaningful, loving relationships that grow and mature over time. And that's when you have a problem in a relationship. And that's when you start to see that some of the people that you work with or get in a relationship with seem to not be motivated and inspired by the same things you are. So if they want to keep living their life like this, and you want to live your life, again, great fortune is just that you heal, you grow, you mature, you're more stable and abundant within yourself. You've detached, you're more of the things that kind of manipulate you and control you. We've all got our shadow nature at any given time, and our shadow natures, our fears and our insecurities and our self-limiting beliefs and our own shadow attributes where maybe, we didn't think we'd have to grow and mature, or we thought we could be kind of bossy or controlling, or we thought everybody would want to live life and would be happy living life exactly the way we thought we'd be happy living life. And then we find out people aren't happy living their life like that, or we're not happy living life the way they thought was the picture perfect way to live life. And if everybody isn't willing to do this work together, then we have a problem. Sometimes some people, aren't willing to invest the time, energy, and effort to work through whatever they need to work through in order to have great abundance in their life. And sometimes people just want what they want now. And if someone comes along that they feel they could invest in that seems to have all those things of the world that they want, it's kind of being impatient. And some people, we can all be tempted to want what we want, and we want it now. And if some people had an opportunity to go invest in something where it seems like they have it all, because this card is kind of reminding me of the a 10 of Pentacles, well, then I don't have to do this work and effort to have great abundance. I'm okay with a lot of abundance in my life. And for some people, it could have been more worldly focused, ego focused, image focused, and maybe that's what they're motivated and inspired by. Instead of where it's a more balanced relationship, where it's, the things of the world that we want. We all want stability and security and to enjoy the finer things in life, but hopefully with love and compassion and inspiration and creativity and, all those good things, that you have a truly abundant relationship. And some people are just like, I don't even know if I want that, because in order to have that, I do have to do this work within myself. And I could go live my life like this instead, and I still look like I got it all. And for some people, it could be the other way around. They could be in relationships with people who are offering them a lot more than what some other people could be offering them. But in order to move forward with those people, you're kind of going to be in a little bit of a mental prison, not kind of trying to confuse you about the truth. There could be loving people in relationships with people who right now are trying to confuse them about the truth. Oh, this will be just and fair. Oh, this is all going to be worth it in the end. And, people just have to listen to their intuition, and some people could really be struggling. Do I have an opportunity that maybe doesn't seem like it has as much financial wealth, but I also don't think it would maybe have all of this, maybe feeling a little bit imprisoned, and where people maybe are trying to confuse me about the truth, making me think maybe they're just and fair, and maybe they're really not just and fair, and maybe they're a little bit cold and detached. Or I could invest in this that, I would have more than plenty because the Ten of Pentacles is like long term stability and security. And hopefully in high vibe, that means love and affection and creativity and imagination. And for other people, it's like the opposite, where I could settle for this, but in order to have this and to be in relationship with people who have this, I do have to overcome these obstacles, like within myself. And so people are going to decide what they're going to go towards. And some of you could have already dealt with some people who already chose not to do the inner work to have great abundance, and they chose to have the things of the world that make them look like they have it all, but do they? And you might know some people that could have seemed like they had more than enough, but someone else came along who presented themselves maybe as high vibe, who offered them more, and they could have decided to go invest in that. So regardless of what you've done in your life or what other people did in your life, I think the high vibe people are investing in continuing to work through their own fears and insecurities because they know true abundance comes from overcoming those things. I want to be, having that peace that surpasses understanding. I don't want to be in a mental prison. I don't want to be in a relationship with people who try to get me up in my head. I don't want to be in a relationship with people who aren't being clear about the truth. I don't want to be in a relationship with people who are emotionally cold or detached or bossy or controlling. I want, enough is enough. How much do I need to be happy? And overcoming these things and people like this in my life, I have true abundance indeed, because I don't have people like that in my life who are maybe trying to get me in my head, confuse me in my thinking, make me focus on the past instead of what can be. Because high vibe energy is about moving forward because the truth sets you free. And shadowy energy is about making you repeat an old pattern of the past. But we just have to decide for ourselves, am I currently on the right path, or have I been misled and tempted in my ego or whatever, or people who don't have my best interest? Who really has my best interest? Who is telling me the truth? Who does want me to become all I can be? Both people could seem to be loving, but again, who within themselves might be in a mental prison and unclear about the truth, who might like to be more bossy and controlling, who is motivated to overcome these obstacles within themselves to free themselves from it, who isn't maybe motivated to put in that work and effort. And basically when we get in relationships with other people, whatever kind of manipulates them, because shadowy energy is about those things that manipulate us, our fear, our insecurity, our codependency, our pride, our ego, lust, greed, immaturity, indulgence, pettiness, envy, jealousy, control. Who seems to be free of those things and motivated to be free of those things, and who isn't? Because if I get in relationships with people who are manipulated by those things, that's like a third party in my relationship, because it's a third party in their life. And if I'm motivated and inspired by truth and love and justice and fairness, I want to be in a relationship with other people who freed themselves from the things that manipulate them, and they're aligned with love and intuition and truth and justice and fairness and character and integrity. There could be some people right now wondering, I kind of look at the imprisonment card as kind of like the 8 of Swords, and there's a maximum of 10 in every suit. So if you're 8 swords up in your head, some people could really be up in their head about the 2 of Cups. What do I align with within myself? Am I more motivated and inspired and believe that I can manifest my dreams into reality, having hope and faith and belief and love and listening to my intuition to guide me? Or am I more aligned with my worldly nature? What kind of I have a dualistic nature. I live in a world of duality. I have these different people in my world. Which one am I going to align with? The people who are maybe a little more motivated by the world or ego or image or money and materialism, either that I would indulge or they would indulge me? Or am I going to align with the people who are free, want to be free, want me to be free, to live my authentic life and not be manipulated by those things? So some people right now could be really thinking about what to invest in. And at the end here, we'll ask what's coming up that they don't see coming. Let's go look at the bottom row. The bottom row, we have half truths, which is kind of like this murky thoughts blocking kind of the King of Swords energy. And I say the king because we all can take action in masculine. We all do take action in masculine energy. And we can all present ourselves in the world any way we want to. And people don't know the truth of how we think and feel. And that can be represented by the feminine figures in tarot. Sometimes there's some people in the world, they can get in relationships with people who they thought were going to live life like this, kind of where they would be the boss and where nobody was going to connect in with their more intuitive, loving, creative, inspired nature because they weren't planning to do that, male or female. And sometimes those people look for people who seem to kind of be confused or fearful or afraid, don't know their worth and value, maybe their judgment is being clouded by the past, since both these figures are looking to the past and haven't done maybe some of the inner work to really love and believe in themselves and to heal. And there's some people in the world that, are shadowy. And it's like, oh, I think this is someone who I can manipulate, because shadowy energy is, instead of doing truth and love, I think I can manipulate this person. I'll manipulate them into thinking I'm a high vibe person. I'm just, I'm fair, I'm balanced, I'm loving, I'm stable, I'm grounded, but they're not. And then they try to get in relationships with loving people and try to control them. You stay right here. No. Do not speak your truth. No, do not want more justice and fairness and balance in this relationship. No, do not start loving and believing in yourself and believing in your dreams. Let's just keep doing the relationship just like this. You be loving and nurturing and fearful or insecure and unclear about the truth of who I am, and you keep questioning it, and you keep staying in a relationship with me. This works for me. This is good for my ego and my image and my status and all those good things. But don't you start standing up for yourself and loving and believing in yourself, because I don't want to have to do that. And if you start to stand up for yourself, well, I really wasn't who I said I was, and I have a lot of fears and insecurities, and I'm not sure if I want to do justice and fairness and truth and love. And so if you start to live your life like that, I don't know, I might have to go find someone else to get in a relationship with, because I'd have to overcome some of my own fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs or trying to manipulate and control people. So regardless of what other people have done or will do, the high vibe people have learned, if other people are in shadowy energy and they're not being truthful and honest and just and fair and healing and growing and maturing themselves, I'm not going to let them keep me imprisoned. Those things might imprison them, and it might have me up in my head for a bit because I love them, but everybody's got free will. And even though it can be confusing, I'm going to put in this work and effort to maintain balance within myself and to speak my truth and stand up for what I believe in. And I believe in love and justice and fairness. And if that's not where you're at, well, then I'm going to keep standing up for what I believe in, and you can go invest in whatever you believe in, And so the people who keep choosing to put in the work and effort to not let people that are in negative energy of their own fear, their own insecurity, their own pride, their ego, their bossy, controlling nature, unloving nature, whatever. I'm not going to let you keep me up in a mental prison and confuse me about the truth. The truth is, it's supposed to be about love. The truth is, we are supposed to grow and mature ourselves and heal over time. And if you don't choose to do that, then we're not operating from the same foundation. You're operating more from your ego or your fear or whatever. And I hope it works out for you, but I've already been there and I've learned not to let those things imprison me. I am high vibe energy. I want to be free of the things that try to manipulate and control me. And if some of those things out there within your own mind, other people in your life, the world at large, manipulates and controls you or gets you up in your pride or your ego, or you're more unclear about the truth, well, I hope you figure it out. But I choose this. I choose love. And you might be wondering if some other people, you could have, I think loving people offer resources to other people to try to help them free themselves. And they offer encouragement to people to free themselves. People have to, this is like spiritual warfare. People have to free themselves from the things that manipulate them. And some people right now could be really having a hard time because part of it would require, with this card being a masculine card, it doesn't mean they have to be a man. Again, we all take action in masculine energy. They would have to take action in truth. They would have to speak their truth. They would have to stand up for the truth. Truth, justice, fairness, acting with character and integrity. And some people are in a mental prison about doing that. Some people have mixed feelings about doing that. Can I just live my life like this? It's like, you can. You just have to go live your life with those people that are willing to let you live your life like that with them. I'm over here. If you want to be over here, you need to be over here. If you want to be in a relationship with me. So let's go look at the bottom row. We have success in love, family room, gift, sad news, thief, the ending card, similar to the coffin card in tarot, which can talk about emotional endings, past life. And the reason for their reading is the half-truths. We can all get caught up in the illusion of the world, of the things that we love. And part of what we can love is just our shadow nature. I don't want to see the truth. I don't want to grow up. I don't want to have to mature. I want to indulge my more worldly, immature nature. And, we all go through a phase in life where we're pretty much living our life like that, right? And we're sure that's the right way to live our life. We're sure that's going to make us happy. If we're immature and impulsive, we're getting in relationships with other immature and impulsive people. If we're all about ego and image, we're getting in a relationship with other people because of ego and image, We tend to like hanging out with people who are like ourselves. But the family room can kind of talk about behind closed doors. Behind closed doors, the divine and other loving, encouraging, supportive people in our life are trying to get us to free ourselves from those things because they already know that it's not going to turn out the way we think. The things of the world are meant to be enjoyed, but they're meant to be enjoyed from a place of stability and security within ourselves, being balanced within ourselves, loving ourselves. Then we can go enjoy those things of the world because we don't make those things in the world that we go indulge in to make us feel better so important to us that they're the end-all be-all. And for some people, because they haven't healed and learned to love and believe in themselves, and they have some past pain and heartbreak and self-limiting beliefs they haven't dealt with, it's our more codependent energy where we still keep thinking that this way of living life that we've lived so far is the answer. Sometimes if we haven't learned to heal and love ourselves and believe in ourselves, there's some unresolved issues there. And because the truth sets us free, if we have loving, encouraging, supportive people in our life, but we're kind of turning our back on them, it's like, no, 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 no. I don't want to work through my thoughts and my fears and my insecurities. I don't want to work through my emotional confusion. I don't want to stand up for myself. I don't want to speak my truth. I don't want to put in the work and effort to get balance within myself. We can repeat an old pattern of way of being in the world because we think that's the answer. And sometimes some people's answer is looking to other relationships, and being in relationship. Just like some people turn to drugs or alcohol or booze or gambling, some people turn to relationships. That's their vice. No, I'm sad. I'm sure I can just get in a relationship with someone. That'll make it all better. But the whole thing is, we haven't realized that our own shadow nature, our fearful, insecure, codependent nature, is kind of stealing from us. Because we're not detaching from these old patterns and ways of being in a relationship and in our more codependent nature to heal, which if we were to heal and give ourselves the things that we wish other people would give us, then we can emotionally detach from those old patterns and those old wounds, and it could transform our whole life. The Scorpio Death card talks about emotionally detaching from the past to transform our life. And it's detaching from repeating an old pattern where there's really nothing new to learn there. We've been there, we've done that, we've lived our life that way a couple of years. We've been in relationships with people who are just like that a couple times. And it keeps ending up, we keep thinking it's going to work out, but it doesn't work out the way we think it's going to work out. And part of it is because we have to align with that energy within ourselves first. Sometimes some people, they're sure that if they keep living life the way they've lived it, like, I grew up in a family that lived life like this, that's the way to live life. Part of it is because they don't want to let go of the past. Some people could be in sadness, missing people in their life, and it's kind of like trying to get in a relationship with someone who subconsciously kind of reminds them of those people. I want to repeat that relationship dynamic. You remind me of that person. I think you'll act like this in a relationship, even if it's negative. Do you have these certain traits and characteristics? Do you have these addictions? Do you have blah, 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 blah? I miss those people. I want to be in a relationship with someone who reminds me of them. I don't want to detach from those people. I don't want to move forward in my life. I don't want to put in this work and effort. And I keep saying work and effort because of this card, which is kind of like high vibe Virgo energy, which is investing time, energy, and effort to work through these things that stop us from feeling more stable and grounded within ourselves and loving ourselves and believing in ourselves. So we kind of keep indulging in our shadow nature, which tells us, like, you don't have to do that work. You don't have to heal. You don't have to grow. You don't have to mature yourself. You don't have to learn to love yourself. And there's more than plenty of people who would be willing, because we live in a world of duality. There's the people that are in high vibe energy, loving, encouraging, healing, growing, maturing themselves. And there's probably 50% of the people in the world who aren't healing and growing and maturing and loving themselves. And they'd be happy to be in a relationship with you. I'll be your caregiver. Yeah, you stay with me in a relationship. You keep especially if you're a loving, nurturing person who hasn't learned to love and believe in yourself, and you want to keep investing in me, that'd be great. It's just, I'm not maybe that motivated by love or justice or fairness, but I'd love to have a loving, nurturing, supportive person be my caregiver. That's perfect. Let's keep moving forward like this, and I'll keep stealing from you. We don't have to grow and mature ourselves. We can keep repeating this pattern. As long as you want to keep repeating it, I'll stay in a relationship with you. This works for me because I didn't plan on growing and healing and maturing myself either. We should stay in this relationship. Neither one of us should grow or mature or heal. Neither one of us should grow to our full potential. Let's make our life about shadowy energy is about being in denial of the truth, because high vibe energy is the truth sets you free. And some people aren't ready to see the truth. They either don't want to deal with their own grief or sadness or pain or heartbreak or self-limiting beliefs, or they don't want to see the truth of the people that they've gotten themselves in relationship with. And some of those people could just be friends or family. It doesn't even have to be romantic interest. But if those people are like, oh no, we have your best interest at heart. You shouldn't detach from us. We've always made our life about, we were going to, make our original family the first priority in our life. And our marriage partners were just people we got in relationships with, but our loyalty resides with our original family. Or we've been a friend group since we were X years old. And, we're not going to let our husbands or our wives take precedent over our friendship or whatever. This is the primary relationship in our life. And some people just aren't seeing the truth that some of the people in their life that they love really don't have their best interests at heart. Those people don't want them to be more independent from them. They don't want them to know their worth and value and feel stable and grounded. Other shadowy people want you codependent on them or in fear of them, or codependent, like you won't be happy without me or us in your life. And some people are very codependent, and they do have a lot of growing up and maturing to do. And for some of them, their dream life is to be in a relationship where people make their life all about taking care of them or indulging them, or they like to make their life about being a caregiver for other people because it makes them feel like they're this loving, nurturing person. Well, if you're in a relationship with someone where you're like the loving, nurturing person, whether you're male or female, and the other person is kind of hiding that they're really about half truths. So you can look at that like, I like to present myself as like a just and fair and truthful and honest and balanced person, but really I'm kind of a little bit more about me, and I like the scales tipped in my favor. And as long as we've all got lessons to learn in life, and some people might have lessons to learn in letting their heart run their life. Because when we've learned all these lessons in life, and Virgo goes within to learn these lessons, to see the truth, we can all go run our life off into the ditch and all these different lessons that we have to learn in life. And eventually, hopefully, if we learn the lessons that, wow, that wasn't just and fair. That person wasn't quite telling the truth. That person liked the scales tipped in their favor. I was out of balance. The rest of my life went in the toilet because my heart ran my life, or my lust ran my life, or my immature impulsive nature ran my life, or my fears and insecurities ran my life. Hopefully we learn these lessons so that love is what helps unify us, so that we can operate from like the center of our life. And when we need to tap into our emotions or take action in the world or speak our truth or whatever, we're able to do that taking all aspects of ourself into consideration, so that certain aspects of ourself, like, oh, sorry, you have zero importance to me, I'm cutting you out, which is like maybe being logical and practical and grounded. Nope, we're being crazy and insane and we're going to go do this. You know, it's to stay balanced within yourself, and that you learn to harness these different energies without respecting all aspects of yourself, like body, mind, soul, how you think, how you feel, what you're inspired by, what your truth is. In an energy of love, you stay not in scattered energy, but in like unified energy. And there could be some people right now that have some lessons to learn about letting their heart run their life. And just like some of you could have gotten in relationships, whether it was people you grew up with or just people you came across in your life, and we've all had to learn those lessons. And you could have learned some lessons that some other people haven't learned yet. And some of those people, I guess I'm kind of looking at the Thief card as like the Seven of Swords card. They're not listening to their intuition, and their intuition could be telling them your dream isn't going to come into reality here. You've gotten where your heart is running your life, then looking at life from a higher perspective and having hope and faith and belief in your dreams, and being willing to maybe even realize how we're repeating an old pattern. You know, sometimes we can get in relationships with people and we're so determined, I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who reminds me of this person. And then we wake up one day and like, oh my gosh, I found out I got in a relationship that reminded me of this person that I wasn't even really worried about. I so much didn't want to be in a relationship like this person, people I could have known, that then I found out I got in a relationship with someone who's like this. And that is someone I also could have, a significant person in my life that, you know, I had healing to do from, and I didn't even realize that. And I think that's why we are drawn and attracted to getting in relationships with people, because we do sometimes have this healing that could happen, things that we didn't even know we needed to work through or deal with, maybe when we were young. And we thought that was all past and over, but really, it still is something that impacts our decisions, that we have this unresolved issues with. And if we haven't learned to love ourselves and stand up for ourselves, and, you know, it's like not even knowing we needed to do that. Since we're not seeing the truth, we will be drawn and attracted, I think, to people who come into our life basically to try to get us to see the truth of something we weren't dealing with. And part of that could just be to learn to love ourselves and stand up for ourselves and work through our fears and insecurities and believe we deserve to be in just and fair relationships, that we deserve to feel balanced within ourselves. And that takes work. We have to offer ourselves love and compassion and forgiveness to offset our fears and our insecurities and self-limiting beliefs. And that's what truly makes us feel stable and grounded and abundant within ourselves. But we didn't even know we needed to do that, you know? And there could be some people that you know right now, and people who you previously could have been in friendships or relationships or workplaces with, and those people don't realize they need to do that. So I think right now some shadowy people are repeating an old pattern. Some of those are the loving people that don't realize that they could be rejecting more just, fair, loving people in their life because they have some unresolved issues. Let's go ask what their unresolved issues are. The Knight of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. So high vibe people are harnessing high vibe Virgo energy, and they have learned some more lessons in life than some of the other people that they might know or in the world in general. And those people could be harnessing a more worldly focused Virgo energy, where thinking that if some people have these things of the world, not love, but if those people might have stability or security or power or influence or status or, whatever, and if they were to get in a relationship with them, they could feel like that is the answer to their problems in the imprisonment, like the Eight of Swords. Other people have already been in relationships thinking other people were the solution to their problem, and it didn't work out the way they thought, and it kept being a repeating pattern that they finally realized, I need to invest in working through my own fears and insecurities and my self-limiting beliefs so I feel stable, abundant within myself. And when I'm aligned with that energy, I'm no longer in my more fearful or codependent energy, and I'm not looking to meet that need when I go out to get a job, meet a friend, get in a romantic relationship. My whole intention for wanting to be in a relationship will be different. And, wanting to be in a relationship with more independent people who also have learned how to love and believe in themselves. And some of these other people are still thinking that kind of codependent on other people to maybe make them feel stable and grounded or like they have worth and value, instead of learning to do that within themselves. What's coming up for the people who harness some high vibe Pisces energy that they might not see coming? The Ace of Pentacles, just like this card here. The Ace of Pentacles and the Nine of Swords. And the reason is because of the Queen of Wands. So the people that are choosing to listen to their intuition and have hope and faith and belief in their dreams are deciding to quit repeating a pattern. And they are going to do this work within themselves. And again, the feminine figures in tarot can talk about how we think and feel. They previously either didn't want to see the truth, weren't seeing the truth, but now they're doing the work within themselves to heal from whatever could have made them keep staying maybe in a mental prison and investing in other people who are maybe in a mental prison, or looking to the world and indulging in things of the world to free them, and realizing those things aren't going to free me. Because shadowy energy, kind of represented by the devil, is kind of like short-term gratification. It might be things that make us feel better for a while, but the devil lies, and we end up in despair again, and we can't figure out why. It's like, I need to learn to love and believe in myself. So those people decided to invest in giving a lot of thought to what does it mean to love and believe in myself. High vibe Leo energy, also represented by the sun. What if I was my own best mother, father, coach voice in my own head? What if I gave myself all the things that I wish other people would have given me? And as I learn to free myself from my own fears and insecurities and things that manipulate me, it kind of illuminates me to the fact that all the people I've known in my life, everybody's got these things that manipulate them. Their fear, their insecurities, their pride, their ego, their self-limiting beliefs, their past pain and heartbreak. And everybody has to do this work or not do this work to free themselves from those things that manipulate them. And when we realize how hard it is for us to free ourselves and get balance within ourselves and feel at peace within ourselves, we can kind of understand why some people didn't do it. And they kept giving in to, I don't have to do that, I can keep acting like this. So we knew some people who didn't ever free themselves, and were bossy, were controlling, were, manipulated by other people in the world, by their ego, because they didn't do that work within themselves. And there's people right now that are choosing to do that work about why would they stay letting their ego run their life, letting the past run their life, let their fear, let the world dictate their life. High vibe energy is about being free to live your authentic life. High vibe Leo, I want to be authentically myself in the world. I don't want to be in my ego. I don't want all these things of the world to manipulate me. I want to be free to live my authentic life. And the high vibe people do that work. And then we have to also see the truth that sometimes there are people who do hurtful, unkind things because it gives them like a false sense of empowerment. Or they're hoping that if they do that, you'll be up in a mental prison about loving and believing in yourself. And then you'll do the relationship the way they want. And they kind of get to be this bossy, controlling, manipulative person in your life. And so it's investing time and energy to be illuminated to the truth, to work through all of the different confusing thoughts we can have. We're emotionally complex human beings. I love them. I hate them. I hope they never come back. I hope they come back and call me today. And so it's to work through all those confusing thoughts. What is just and fair? What does someone who loves you, how do they act and treat you in a relationship? Somebody who really has character and integrity, how do they treat you and act in a relationship? People who don't really have character and integrity, but they might like to present themselves as that. They might try to present themselves as that, but they're not that. People who like to present themselves as being just and fair and truthful and honest people, but they're not that. And it's just seeing the truth. People are either aligned with truth and love and justice and fairness, or they're somewhere else on the spectrum between narcissist and unconfused. And the people who are clear about the truth, that it's about truth and love and justice and fairness and character and integrity, stand up for that. They take action in that. They speak that. And the people who don't are going to be people who won't be moving forward with you in a relationship. They might want to. They might try to. As you're moving forward in your life, you could have some people from your past and people you meet in your life now and people you meet in your future that are going to want to invest in you, because if you're a high vibe person, you're a loving, nurturing person. You're not acting out of shadowy energy. You're not being petty and envious and jealous and manipulative. You're being warm and loving and giving, and people are going to want to be in a relationship with you. Some of them just because that makes practical, logical sense. I don't agree with your philosophy of life, but it'd be good for my ego and my image and my status. And it'd be nice to be in a relationship with someone like you, but I'm not that type of person. And you'll have to listen to your intuition about who's who. Other people are being authentic. They have given a lot of thought to all these same things. They've also learned a lot of lessons in life, and they probably have a lot of information and things to tell you. And it's just to listen to your intuition. Who's maybe trying to tempt me with things of the world to get me up in my head, appeal to my ego and my lust and my pride and my fear and my insecurity, to make me focus on them instead of continuing to believe in myself and believe in my dreams? And who wants to move forward with me, who also has given a lot of thought to this, who wants to invest also in me pursuing my dreams, them pursuing their dreams, both of us being open and authentic and loving and warm. And so I think you're going to have, well, it depends on where you're at in the story. Some people are just getting out of situations like this, and they're just learning to invest in doing this work within themselves. The other people have already done that, and they're ready for that next phase of life because they have done that work and effort within themselves, and they're ready to go invest in other people who are on the same page as them. Okay, what's coming up for the people who harness a more worldly or shadowy Pisces energy? What's coming up for them that they don't see coming? The Queen of Wands and the Tower. So like I say, sometimes shadowy people like to try to manipulate and control people. It's like a false sense of empowerment. I want other people to feel sad. I don't like it when people love and believe in themselves. I'm going to do some things to try to even stop a loving relationship from moving forward. I'm going to try to do things to make other people stop moving forward, loving and believing in themselves, so that they in turn will reject loving, supportive, encouraging people in their life. I like them to focus on me. I want them to be in a relationship with me. So it's kind of like, we live in this world of duality. It's like the devil and all the different thoughts and emotions and everything that we could harness in shadowy energy. The devil wants us to align with all those thoughts and feelings. And then God, all the loving thoughts and feelings we could choose to embody within ourselves and give life to, wants us to choose those. And those are always battling for us emotionally and spiritually in our mind and in our emotions. And we can master our thoughts and our emotions. Our thoughts, we're not supposed to be a slave to our thoughts and our emotions. And then we have the different people in the world for their own selfish, greedy reasons and hurtful reasons or ego reasons. Some people try to deceive and manipulate people. Some people try to hurt other people because they don't want them to love and believe in themselves. They like to think, I'm the boss. I should be able to control you. I want to destabilize your foundation. It makes me feel powerful. The reason it's a false sense of empowerment is because their sense of empowerment is dependent on how other people respond in the world. Shadowy people can initially do things that are very disruptive to people, but when the high vibe people pick themselves up and work through it, then their power balloon deflates and goes down to the floor, and they have to go find someone else to try to manipulate or control or bully or feel powerful over. It's not their sense of empowerment doesn't come from within themselves. The high vibe people are the people who have true empowerment because they're not trying to build their ego or their image or their sense of power off of hurting or belittling or controlling other people. They believe in the power of love to motivate and inspire people to want to be in a relationship with them. And that could really bother some of these shadowy people. They don't like that the high vibe people have detached. Just like your shadow nature isn't happy that you detached. Just like the devil isn't happy that you're not staying in a little bit of hell with the people in the world who wanted to create a little hell in your life. Damn! They loved and believed in themselves. They saw the truth of our foundation. We weren't being truthful and honest and just and fair. We weren't who we presented ourselves as. We were being deceptive and manipulative. We were maybe in shadowy Scorpio energy, emotionally shallow and superficial. We wanted to repeat this pattern of relationship over and over and over, and we wanted you to stay imprisoned with us. And the high vibe people said, I tried to be loving and encouraging to you, and all you did was make me sad, so I'm leaving. And I'm going to work through all this confusion to free myself from it. And they did. And they never thought that would happen because they have never freed themselves from the things or the people that manipulate them. So they never thought you would either. They thought you'd give in to your fear and your insecurity and your pride and your ego and your self-limiting beliefs, and you'd be in the same kind of energy as them, but you're not. And by you living your authentic life and moving forward in life, going to like the next stage of life, while they repeat an old pattern of a way of living life because they haven't healed, grown, or matured themselves, it kind of highlights that they're not who they present themselves to be, or they really would live their life differently. They just wanted to tear you down to make you seem like you were just like them. And it kind of illuminates that they're kind of unjust, unfair, unstable, ungrounded, not the nurturing, whatever type of person they try to present themselves in the world to be. And it could really be destabilizing them. And they did not think that's how this was going to play out. Another thing they might not see coming is, well, if they get in a relationship with someone else, see, God wants people to see the truth because God doesn't want people to keep repeating these old patterns. God wants us to heal and see the truth and quit repeating an old pattern and see the truth of it and move on from it. And I think they might have someone who comes into their life that they thought was going to be like a gift to them, maybe indulge them. And I think the person who came into their life is going to be is deceptive and manipulative. Sorry, I just came into your life to try to help you heal. You're not seeing the truth about me or yourself. And I came in to illuminate that you're repeating an old pattern, and this is going to end. I'm going to end it with you. If you want to keep not willing to grow up and mature yourself emotionally and learn to love and believe in yourself, you can go repeat the pattern with someone else again. But if it's another loving person, that relationship's going to turn out the same way it did before. If it's someone who's just like you, who also has fear and insecurity or pride or ego or hasn't healed or likes to be viewed as the caregiver, but they're really not in a way, it's going to be another unstable foundation that probably won't last. Love is what helps us build a stable foundation. And if you try to control and manipulate the loving people, well, then the people you're left with are kind of people like you who aren't in a relationship for love. And if someone comes along who has more money, more status, more image, more willing to indulge them, they'll go get in a relationship with that person. To have a stable foundation, the foundation should be love. And it takes both people operating from a foundation of love. And right now, there could be some people who've been shadowy in a relationship, and they might not realize that some of the people they're in a relationship with have been doing this work within themselves to love and believe in themselves, to be willing to finally detach from this kind of shadowy relationship. And that might be a shock, because the Tower can be a shock. And if somebody thought, oh, this person loves me, I can keep doing this, I can keep doing whatever, they're in a mental prison, they don't believe in themselves, they don't love themselves, they'll keep indulging me in a relationship, some of those people are leaving that relationship. And the person, male or female, that's been in their ego thinking, I can use the love that someone has for me to manipulate them, it's going to be a Tower moment when the other person says, I did love you and I did try to offer you a lot of resources to get you to love and believe in yourself, but you kept being deceptive or manipulative, and I'm sad, but I just realize my dream can't come into reality with you, and it doesn't have anything to do with me because I'm operating from a foundation of love. And I wish you peace, but I'm moving on. And those people could be shocked because they never thought those people would love and believe in themselves and detach from them. So it's kind of like the shadowy people kind of get what they want. If they get a loving person in a relationship with them, it's like, oh, that's perfect. You choose to be loving and I choose to be kind of shadowy, and you indulge me in my shadow nature. Works for me. I get loving people, but I don't have to be loving. Perfect. But you don't get what you want. Oh, that's too bad. And finally, the loving people are like, I want other loving people in my life. And apparently it's not you. I've put in a lot of work and effort to try to get this relationship. I offered you the gift of love. And to choose love is a free will choice. And apparently you keep thinking, no. I can keep being deceptive and manipulative. I can keep being emotionally shallow and superficial. You don't want to see the truth because you love me, and I'll use your love that you have for me to keep manipulating you. And some of the people are saying, see ya, I'm done. I have seen the truth of your foundation. I am no longer in denial. So there you go, Pisces energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.